Hello MPPNs, how are you? Hope you are fine. This is our third class, right? We have studied the first chapter and we have started the second chapter, and what is that? It is microorganisms. We have completed two parts, right? We have completed the habitat or natural home of microbes, then microorganisms and diseases, then uses of microorganisms, and storage and preservation of microorganisms, right? Now, the last topic remaining in this chapter is major groups of microbes. So, this is our part 3 and we are going to discuss about major groups of microbes. Are you ready? Yes, let's move ahead. Major groups of microbes. Microbes are classified into 5 groups according to their characteristics. In the order of gradual evolution in body organism, they are viruses, bacteria, fungi, algae and protozoa. What are the different types of microbes? They are viruses, bacteria, fungi, algae and protozoa. See, here is a table for you. Here you can see the names of microbes, the number of cells that particular microbe consists and their size. The first name of the microbe and its properties I am telling you, the rest you have to learn yourself. Okay, see the first one. First one is viruses and its singular is virus. It is acellular, that is no cellular structure, and its size is 0.015 to 0.275 micron. Okay, rest you can see and learn. The viruses lie on the borderline dividing the living world from the non-living. The viruses lie on the borderline dividing the living world from the non-living. Bacteria, fungi and algae are included in plant kingdom. We can classify viruses as both non-living and living, and bacteria, fungi and algae are included in plant kingdom. Okay. Protozoa are a part of animal kingdom. It is a one word question, 1 mark question. Okay. Protozoa are a part of animal kingdom. The mode of nutrition in these microorganisms is either autotrophic or heterotrophic. Most of the algae and protozoa like Euglena possess chlorophyll and make their own food. See, though they are microorganisms, but there is an exception of algae and protozoa like Euglena, which possess chlorophyll and make their own food. Thus, these are autotrophic. Clear? Certain protozoa, fungi and bacteria are heterotrophic. They obtain their food from dead decaying organic matter. Some other microorganisms obtain their food from other living beings. Thus they are parasites. We have discussed about parasites in the last chapter. What are parasites? Who are parasites? They are the organisms that depend on other organisms or the host plant for their nutrition. Viruses do not have a cellular structure and can only grow on other living cells. See, we have studied in this table that they are acellular in nature. They have no cellular structure. Okay. Now, this was the introduction I gave you. Now we are studying the different types of microbes in a detailed manner. First one is virus. The Latin word virus means a liquid poison. What is the meaning of virus? It is liquid poison. Viruses are the smallest of all microorganisms. Which is the smallest microorganism? It is virus. They cannot be seen even with the most powerful microscope working on light. See, this is a fact about virus. They cannot be seen with the most powerful microscope even. They can be observed with an electron microscope indirectly. It is not clear whether we should call them living or non-living because they do not grow on their own. Why we can't segregate them into living or non-living? Because they do not grow on their own. They are non-cellular structures. They can survive and multiply only inside other host organism, plant or animal cells. They can survive and multiply only inside another host organism, plant or animal cells. There is a wide variety of structures in viruses. They may be rod shaped, polygonal, spherical or cubical even. Okay, but their names have been derived from the respective host or diseases that they cause. For example, TMV, tobacco mosaic virus, causes the foot and mouth disease in the cattle. The measles virus causes measles in humans. See, measles is a disease, so the virus is named as measles virus. Flu virus causes flu or viral fever, so it is named as flu virus. Then HIV, human immunodeficiency virus, causes the fatal disease AIDS, acquired immunodeficiency syndrome in humans. Viruses use the energy of the host plant to reproduce themselves. As they grow in number, the host cell eventually bursts. A virus that uses bacteria as host is known as bacteriophage, that is bacteria eater. A virus that uses bacteria as host is known as bacteriophage, meaning bacteria eater. Alright, now we will see viruses, a link between the living organisms and the non-living things. Okay, viruses do not have cytoplasm, nucleus or cell membrane, but they have genetic material, that is nucleic acids. There is a core of nucleic acid, RNA, that is ribonucleic acid, or DNA, that is deoxyribonucleic acid, surrounded by a sheath of protein which is called capsid. Alright, there is a core of nucleic acid, RNA or DNA, surrounded by a sheath of protein which is called capsid. Characters of living organisms in viruses. Viruses have genetic material. They grow and multiply but only inside another living cell. Then, characters of non-living things in viruses. Viruses can be crystallized like non-living things. There is no cytoplasm, no nucleus or no cell membrane in virus. Outside a living system, a virus can neither respire nor reproduce. So these all things you have to keep in your mind. Then we are moving to the next topic, that is bacteria. It is the next main microorganisms present on earth. What is that? It is bacteria. Bacteria are unicellular microorganisms. Their sizes vary from 0.2 to 100 microns. They exist as single cells or as a chain or group of cells. The cells possess a hard cell wall. Many of them possess cilia and flagella to help them move. What is the specific organ in bacteria which helps it to move? It is cilia or flagella. See, in this picture you can see flagella, flagellum. Singular of flagella is flagellum. Okay. This is a typical structure of a bacteria. See, you can see cytoplasm, cell wall, cell membrane, hereditary material, that is genetic material, DNA, and flagellum. Now we will study the different forms of bacteria. There are 4 main forms of bacteria. Let us see what are they. The first one is coccus or spherical form. In other words, we can say that spherical bacteria. The spherical form occurs either singly, in groups of two, in long chains or in bunches. How do they occur? They occur either singly or in groups or in chains and bunches. Okay. Second one is bacillus or rod-like form. It is in rod shape. See, first one spherical form, then it is rod-shaped bacteria. Bacillus may occur singly or form a filament. See, it forms a filament or occurs singly. Spirillum or spiral form. These are spiral in appearance with two or more twists. They have mostly flagella at both the ends. Okay. Then vibrio form or comma shape. Now it is in the form of comma. These are spiral in appearance with less than one twist. They have flagella to move. Okay. Now let us see the nutrition in bacteria. Some bacteria have bacteriochlorophyll to perform photosynthesis. Most of the bacteria are heterotrophic. They may be saprophytes, obtaining food from dead organic matter, or parasites, obtaining food from the tissues of other living organisms, right? Now, growth and respiration. Those bacteria that require free oxygen from the environment for their growth are called aerobic bacteria. What are aerobic bacteria? Those bacteria that require free oxygen from the environment for their growth are called aerobic bacteria. Those bacteria that grow without oxygen are called anaerobic bacteria. Now let us see the reproduction in bacteria. Bacteria normally reproduce or multiply by binary fission under favorable conditions. During binary fission, the nuclear body of a fully grown bacterial cell elongates and a cross wall is developed, dividing it into two. The two daughter cells separate and redivide after maturity. They generally reproduce very fast, such as Pseudomonas reproduces itself every 9.5 minutes. E. coli or Escherichia coli, the most common bacteria used for scientific research, divides every 20 minutes. See their fastness of the quickness of their reproduction. Doubling every 20 minutes leads to production of 2 raised to 72 or 8 raised to 24, or we can say 4.7 into 10 to the power 21 bacteria in 24 hours. Just imagine in one day how many bacteria is reproduced. However, some bacteria are very slow growing, such as those that cause tuberculosis and leprosy. Now let us see the formation of curd. Do you know in the formation of curd there is a hand of bacteria? Let us see. The anaerobic bacteria lactobacillus are present in the curd. When some curd is mixed well in warm milk, they start growing and multiplying using the non-fat components of milk. The acidic products of this reaction begin to curdle and thicken the milk. After formation of curd, it is put in a cooler place to reduce further growth of bacteria. Otherwise, the bacteria would make it sour by excessive production of acid. Hot milk kills the microorganisms. Microorganisms can also not grow in cold milk. Okay, both hot and cold are enemies of microorganisms. Okay, in both cases, the curd formation does not occur properly. When the milk is hot and when the milk is cold, in both the cases, the curd formation does not occur properly. Now let us see the useful actions of bacteria. First one, it helps in formation of milk products such as curd and cheese. Then bacteria act upon fruit juices, sugarcane juice and palm juice to form vinegar and wines. Bacteria present in the intestines of ruminant animals like cow help in digesting the cellulose of plants. Thus, the animals can use grass as their staple food. See the next useful action performed by bacteria. Some bacteria like Rhizobium and Azotobacter convert nitrogen from the air into nitrogen compounds. Thus, they fertilize the soil. Some bacteria release nitrogen from decaying plants and animals and thus sustain the nitrogen cycle. Some bacteria decompose organic matter to produce nutrients and releasing large amounts of CO2 for the use of green plants. Some bacteria promote the process of tanning of leather, right? Okay, now see, what are the harmful actions of bacteria? Some bacteria cause diseases in humans, animals and plants. They cause diseases. Then some bacteria spoil food and other things. Robert Koch gave us the germ theory of disease and pointed out that tubercle bacillus is the main cause of tuberculosis. Similarly, see, here is a name of a person. I think it is very difficult to read it, right? But see, the pronunciation is Shikabasaburo Kitasate, who pointed out that the disease of tetanus is caused by tetanus bacilli. Alright, you have studied two microbes. What are they? First one, virus and bacteria. I think it is a very long concept for you. So, I am winding up this part now. In the next part, we will study about fungi, algae and protozoa. Alright. So, we will meet again in the next video with the remaining 3 topics of this chapter. Till then, stay home, stay safe and take care of yourself. Bye.